Okay, a completely different video here today, nothing to do with cars. So what I've just showed you is one of my tablets. I believe this is a Tab 3, if I'm not mistaken, that I have in my house. So I have two of these in the walls. I have one downstairs, which is the one I've just showed you, and I have one upstairs. The one upstairs, there's nothing wrong with it. This one, by the way, they are both in the wall for the same amount of time, about 4 years now. This one, a couple of months ago, just before Christmas actually, today is the 22nd of January, just before Christmas, this one turned itself off, and it never turned back on, and you have seen that battery sign with a sort of a clock is in a loop constantly, and it doesn't start. It doesn't boot up. Now, I think I know why it doesn't boot. It's all to do because of the battery. So these tablets, either the one downstairs, this one, or the one that is upstairs, they are constantly connected to the power, which is right here at the back. So they are constantly powered up through here because they are constantly on. These tablets, they control several things. There's a couple, they control lights and stuff, and they control my sound system at home. I will leave a link in the description below for a video that I've done ages and ages ago for it, but it will give you a good idea of what I do with these tablets. This one downstairs, we use it a little bit more often because I have post-its on the pages, on the main page, for things that we don't want to forget. So I use it for that as well. We use it quite a lot, this one. So what I'm going to do today is try to fix this problem. I think this is to do with the battery, and I'll show you why. So back in about August, I've started to notice at the front of the tab, the image, it started to discolorate, kind of, as if it was, you know, when you press an LCD and the picture sort of starts to change. So that's what I was kind of noticing. And when I looked on the side, from the side, the tab was actually bowing. So it was like, you know, sort of swelling. And it was actually, that was the battery that was swelling. So at the time, I took it off the wall. I split it from the wall because the back cover of this is actually screwed into the wall. So I've split it and I pierced the battery in two places for that hair that was trapped inside to release, and that straight away the tab carried on working. This was back in August, but I believe what is causing all these issues is the battery itself, which we are gonna try to solve this either with the battery or without the battery. Okay, and I believe my problem with this is the fact that the battery is completely gone and it doesn't supply any voltage, and unfortunately these tablets, they need to have battery to work. So the first thing we're going to do is measure the battery voltage. That's gonna measure that in there. As you can see, I have nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I've started already, but we're gonna remove this battery and and see what we got. Actually, let me just do one thing here. Just curiosity. But I need to disconnect the battery first. Let me measure the resistance. Actually, let me measure the voltage again now with the battery. With the battery disconnected. I still have the same voltage. Now let me see what resistance I have on my battery. Okay, 28. So it's not shorted, at least. So it's gonna carry on taking these screws off. Now, ideally, I would buy another battery, but the thing is, this tablet, as I said, is constantly connected to the power. So I don't really need So I don't really need to have the tab. I don't really need a battery. All I need is the tablet to be turned on. That's it. That's all I want. So I'm going to remove these batteries out, because I have a plan. I don't know if it's going to work, but I really hope it does. Okay, so the first battery should, because I want to reutilize this plug. So here in the middle looks like I have the connections. Okay, so here I have the electronics, and that's rubbish. I have some sort of battery controller, by the looks of it. See? Yes, that's correct. Okay, so the contacts of the battery are actually kind of soldered here. I don't know how good you can see it. So that's one contact there, one there. Then these ones are for the other battery. Exactly. Yep, that's it. So let's gonna cut through this. Wanna lift this connection here without breaking it. Guys, you can skip the video if you don't want to be here watching. Oh yeah, this is right. I could just cut in there and that was it. Cut through there. That's one coming off. Hold on. Let's not cut it completely through. I never opened one of these, so you need to bear in mind with me that it's the first time I'm doing this. Okay, let's cut these plastics that holds the batteries. Okay. Okay. So battery number one. Let me just try to figure out which one is the positive and which one is the negative of this battery. Zero volts. Absolutely 0 volts. It's impossible. There you are. Okay, we'll figure out a way, I think. Oh, there it goes. It says in there, actually, battery 1 plus and minus. So says right there, battery 1 plus, battery 1 minus, and I guess over there is going to be battery 2, minus and plus and minus. So I'm going to expose these here. My plan, guys, if that works, is just to have 2 capacitors instead of the batteries, and hopefully that will work. Don't know if it does, but we'll have to try. Cut these plastics, this tape. It's already cut. It's already cut. There we go. Just don't want to break the frame. There's no point to do it. Okay, so what we have here is, let me pull these out from the board so we can have a look. Okay, so that's it. Some resistors. Okay, so just let me see what happens if I connect 2 capacitors here and then the power straight into the battery. That's gonna do that and go from there. And let me show you this. So 2 capacitors in there, as you can see, one simulating this battery, the other one back there, the other one. I'm just powering it up, and not very good. Hold on a second. Okay, here it is. As you can see, it's working absolutely fine. That's not what I want. Obviously, there it goes. Hold on, let me a little bit more. There's a little bit of glare, guys. I do apologize for that. If I go to my battery, it tells me this. So it tells me 3 minutes 48 seconds on the battery. It says it's not charging. Obviously it's not communicating with the battery, but I don't care. All I care is it can be turned on all the time like this. That's all I need. So the capacitors, they do the trick. So all we're gonna do now, let me power this down, turn off. Okay, so all I'm gonna do now is make this a little bit more permanent. I'm gonna still put the frame just to give it some sort of structure, I guess. And that's it, fingers crossed, when we connect it back on the wall, it's gonna work. Okay, and all connected now, a little bit more neat. So as you can see, so 2 capacitors, one here. The power supply, in my case, the brown wire is going to be negative, the white wire is going to be positive, and it connects well, straight under this tape onto this first capacitor, simulating the battery. And now let's gonna put on the wall, connect, and see if it works. If it does work, that's it, guys. That's how you can run a tablet without a battery. As I already said, this is connected to the mains all the time. I don't really need the batteries. The capacitors help just to stabilize a little bit the voltage. So let's kind of put it on, and that's it, guys. If you have I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope there's some information here you can find it useful. If you do have any questions, any comments, guys, please put them below. And like always, thanks for watching.